In the great kingdom of Uzo, where the Niger River snaked through emerald forest and golden savannahs, King Obadele ruled wisdom. He was loved by his people, but in his old age he became troubled. His only son, Prince Jide, was reckless and proud, more interested in hunting and feasting than learning the ways of leadership. One day, an old woman arrived at the palace gates. She was bent with age. Her wrapper faded, and she carried a small round calabash covered in cowrie shells. The guards tried to turn her away, but she insisted on seeing the king. "I bring a gift for His Majesty," she said, her voice firm despite her frail body. Curious, King Obadele allowed her in. She placed the calabash before him and whispered, "This is no ordinary calabash, Kabiyesi. It speaks only the truth. It will guide those who listen with an open heart." Skeptical but intrigued, the king tapped the calabash lightly. To the amazement of the hall, to the amazement of all, a deep, wise voice echoed from within. "He who listens to wisdom prospers. He who ignores it stumbles." The court gasped. The king, seeing an opportunity to test his son, called for Prince Jide. "Take this calabash," he instructed. "Consult it before making any decision." Jide, proud and unwilling to be lectured by an old guard, took the calabash grudgingly. That night, he placed it in his chamber and ignored it until hunger struck him. He clapped for his servants, demanding a meal of roasted bushmeat and palm wine. Just as the feast arrived, the calabash spoke. "Eat in haste, and regret will follow." Jide scoffed and ate greedily. Minutes later, his stomach twisted in agony. The meat had been undercooked and he was bedridden for days. Another time, he set off on a hunt. Before leaving, the calabash warned, "Pride goes before a fall." Jide laughed and rode deep into the forest. There he spotted a mighty antelope and chased it recklessly, only to fall into a hunter's hidden trap. He hung there, helpless, until the palace guards found him. Humbled but still stubborn, Jide decided to prove Calabash wrong. One evening he asked, "If you are so wise, tell me, what must I do to be greater than my father?" The Calabash answered, "A king is not made by power, but by the love of his people." This puzzled Jide. He had always thought ruling was about strength and command. But as he reflected, he noticed how his father ruled with kindness, how he listened before he spoke, how he solved disputes with patience. Slowly, Jide began to change. He spent more time among the people, learning their struggles, solving their problems. He led with wisdom, and the kingdom flourished. When King Obadele finally passed, Jide became king. Not because he was the strongest, but because he had become the wisest. As for the old woman, she was never seen again. But the talking calabash remained, whispering its truth to every king who would listen. And so, the kingdom of Uzo prospered, ruled by wisdom and the echoes of an enchanted God.